Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The Saints have been hit by COVID this week. We know that Cam Jordan is on the COVID-19 reserve list. Talked about that yesterday. His Ironman streak is in jeopardy. Well, now we find out today, too, that Mark Ingram has tested positive for COVID-19. So Mark Ingram has also been added to the COVID-19 reserve list. And when it rains, it pours, whatever saying you want to use. Obviously, it's just devastating for the New Orleans Saints. They just cannot seem to catch a break in this snake-bitten season. But Mark Ingram, of course, rejoined the team via trade as they were looking for help at the running back position. Has been a pretty consistent piece of this offense since rejoining the team. Just as it appears the Saints are getting Alvin Kamara back as he is fully healthy this week. Now it looks like they're going to be without Mark Ingram. It is worth noting that just like Cam Jordan, Mark Ingram is fully vaccinated. So, according to NFL rules, if you can produce 2 negative COVID tests, then you're immediately eligible. There is no waiting period because he's fully vaccinated. But Cam Jordan, Mark Ingram, both fully vaccinated, would need to produce 2 negative tests in order to be eligible to play on Sunday against the New York Jets. With Kamara likely back, the Saints lean on Tony Jones Jr., Dwayne Washington, Ty Montgomery, all there for possible running back reps with Ingram on the sideline. So really right now we just wait and see what this is going to mean for Mark Ingram if he's going to be available. The good news for New Orleans, if you want to say it that way, is that here in the first injury report of the week that was released on Wednesday, some pretty good news for New Orleans. The really good news is that both Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara were full participants. So you fully expect to see Hill and Kamara this week. Marcus Davenport, Teron Armstead, Caden Ellis, all were at practice, but all were limited. It's good news that they're practicing on Wednesday. It's a good indication that they're going to play, provided there aren't any setbacks. The bummer is that Ryan Ramczyk with that knee injury and Pete Werner with his elbow injury did not practice. So we'll have to keep an eye on those guys. But the significant news here, of course, is that Taysom Hill, a full participant despite the finger injury, appears to be in line to play. And when Sean Payton met with reporters earlier in the day on Wednesday, he essentially said that about Taysom Hill.
You got to look at it specifically to plays and specifically to situation and what's it a byproduct of, whether it's a turnover. And your question is really the good with the bad, and can you win? Look, the bad has to be better, and we don't have to be great when I'm talking about him, and I think that there's elements where you watch it and you're excited, and then there's, the things that obviously when you get into a game late like that you want to improve on. But that's the process. Those are the starts. This is the next opportunity for him, and I think he'll do well.
The next opportunity for him, and I think he'll do well. So Sean Payton is very indirectly telling you there what this is. This is Taysom Hill's opportunity, like we've talked about. If there is one thing worth watching in this mostly lost season, where the Saints are in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, the first 5-game losing streak of the Sean Payton era, if there's something worth watching the rest of the way, this is it. Now, that seemed to become a little bit in question with the injury to Taysom Hill because we didn't know if he'd be able to continue, but he is going to be able to continue and play despite that injury on his throwing hand. And this is the redeemable part of the remainder of this season. Even if the Saints win out, I do not believe, I don't believe they're going to win out because I don't think they're going to win in Tampa. So at best, I believe they could be 9-8. I don't think they're going to get there. They could win this weekend, absolutely. But of greater consequence right now is finding out if you can hitch your wagon to Taysom Hill long-term as the quarterback. You gave him a deal that at least leaves open the possibility of that. Now, we did talk with Sean Salisbury yesterday, and he made a lot of great points about Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, the big-name quarterbacks that could find themselves in new locales this offseason, and why New Orleans would or wouldn't be a great spot for each of those. They would all be a better option. Any of the three would be a better option than Taysom Hill. But if none are an option, then you're really deciding between Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, the same decision you had to make this past offseason. But what realistically are you willing to invest financially into Jameis Winston coming off a torn ACL where you only got to see him for 7 games? Now, you were 5-2 through those 7 games, and he was certainly improving. And next year would be his 3rd year in New Orleans. And so there's a lot of reason to think that at 28 years old, he's got a lot of runway left to continue improving and potentially become a championship quarterback. But there's a lot of buts. There's a lot of ifs. Really, New Orleans is going to have to make the decision this offseason. Are they still in win now mode, or are they in build mode? That's the big question. Are you in win now mode like you've been for the last 15 years, or are you in build mode? And I don't know the answer to that, because I can look at this roster and I can go, Ramczyk, Armstead, McCoy, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Williams. I can look at Demario Davis, Cam Jordan. I can look at a lot of those guys and say, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and go, you got a hell of a roster. You could compete with anybody in the NFL. Win now. But can you really afford to supplement those pieces, and do you have the trigger man to actually get you over the hump to win a Super Bowl? And if not, then it's got to be more in build mode. Rebuild this roster. And we're going to start to find that out. That will be the answer we get over the remainder of this season. It starts Sunday against the Jets. For whatever it's worth, here's Sean Payton's thoughts on the Jets, who are certainly one of, and certainly in the conversation for the worst team in the NFL right now.
Look, they're one of these teams that obviously have been up and down. They've beaten some good teams and wins versus Tennessee, Cincinnati, and the film we're looking at is a 1-year study, obviously, with the new coaching staff. So, and I would say this: the focus, as much as anything else, is internal relative to us, how we practice this week, our preparation, how we handle the work week, and getting ready for this game.
And getting ready for that included a long work week, right? So you had 10 days because you play Thursday against Dallas. So they went Sunday, Thursday, Thursday, where you had the 3 games in 12 days. Now you are in a situation where you've got a little time to get ready for this game. So how, if at all, does that change with this long week?
We were on a stretch there, 3 games in however many days, 12 days or what have you. And so you had to be really mindful of what you were doing in pads. And there were a number of practices where it was a little bit more walkthrough. This will be a little bit more conventional. We'll be in shoulder pads today. It'll be more physical today. Taking advantage of the time off. Different than that stretch that we just went through.
Sean Payton meeting with the media Wednesday morning as his team is eyeballing their road trip up to MetLife Stadium, take on the Jets on Sunday as they try to end a 5-game losing streak. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.